Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back to epistemic-gnomes. Today we're finally got past the shape keys thing, because on one hand I finished the regular shape keys for the face, the ones that are like generic and useful for many, like 3D animation, whatever that I needed there. And on another hand, I had to attempt to do the 52 mocap, facial mocap conventional shape keys or morphs or blend shapes for the solely shape key based facial expression. Although there would be for facial mocap some bones for the eyes, but anyways, it doesn't matter. So I didn't finish that because in this rig it wasn't necessarily, it was a mistake the way I was doing, because I haven't found a way to combine the versatile rig in the end, like because of how this rig was done. So it's quite complicated on the face, and so it doesn't combine with the method that I was doing to make the shape keys. So probably I would have to employ another method, but the conventional way would be to split project, like, oh, this is go for mocap and this is for game and Blender 3D animation. Maybe that is more reliable easier to unify on the same rig, even though it's a multi-purpose rig. But the mocap, really, it's all about the application of the shape keys, right? If we just want to make the shape key, well, good luck on doing 52 by hand shaping. I was trying to do it armature deform, applying the save, and then I was having some conflicts. So anyways folks, so I've dumped that task because this character is not even good for mocap. Well, maybe it is, but it was not by design. I just wanted it to have mocap because I found that would be a good challenge, but it was not really necessary. If this game is, so no more versatile game FAB character, nice game character, yeah, game character, and yeah, still works for 3D animation inside Blender. Later on, maybe if I find a method, a better solution, then I can, instead of split the character, I will instead do the, I'm looking for some soundtrack, sorry folks, here, yes, finally. So today we're going to skip all that because it will not be part of the project anymore. Hope that doesn't frustrate anyone's expectation, but I have other characters that I will gonna employ this. So I started to make them, but then I stumbled on critical issues regarding the fact that my meshes were not combined in a single mesh, and then you have shape key double, the same shape key on multiple objects. You have to do one by one, like it's really complicated. Things get really nasty. So that doesn't worth it, I guess. Fortunately, this project doesn't need this mocap, facial mocap at all. We have quite solid facial expressions from here already by mostly bone deform, and the only shape keys that I've made here, the hands, were these ones here for the, let's see, shape keys for the face. So we have these ones, and we have a bone that is probably here. This bone here is a master melt morphs, whatever. So I have some purse, I have rounded, we have the, oops, actually we have the GY, the puff cheeks, which would be better with subdivision surface modifier. Here it's exaggerated, of course, but strangely I thought it was better before, but probably it's just because I was using subdivision surface modifier. Then we have, what is this? The kiss shape, which is very important and difficult to do with armature deform. Alright, then we have the kiss plus perf. I've made a delta for this one. Yeah, and I think I've made, just to have some flexibility, maybe I have made a delta for this one. Yeah, the when the mouth is open, and okay, this is the delta rounded and purse. And just here I didn't do a delta. This will be a super delta because it's not even required, but it will combine at least 3. Yeah. Yeah, so there's actually a delta, the kiss and the rounded. Not that this is just cool so that I can have this motion here, and unless I go here it breaks the rig. No, actually not, because the diagonal here has there's just a problem with the puff cheeks. Probably maybe let's do it the puff cheeks with the scale. I think it will be less confusing. So I have just one plane of motion. I didn't use the scale yet, so this will be like edit driver, so like how to do this. 1 negative var, the scale start at 1, and this is the final value. So I'm gonna get here the average scale, and that's just scale. Could be just on one axis, but that also works. So let's see, it starts at 0, and if I scale, nothing happens. Alright, so why not? Puff cheeks, what went wrong? Oh, it's negative. Okay, so actually var -1, and so now this, there we go. For some reason, when the scale goes negative, we got some other expression which is not wanted, because we can actually combine them. So there is a scale. Those way to control the bones are annoying. So here we could have a limit scale. So just get this to minimum 1, maximum we can get 2, I guess. Local space, let's see. Yeah, but then we have this problem with we need to be careful when it inverts this scale rate. Alright, but that solves the problem, and this limit distance was a cool idea, but I don't remember how it was used. So the problem is it gives a circular motion instead of the limit location, which is more like a square thing. So you see this goes rounded. So this is a very cool idea, but then I don't remember exactly, because then I can't reach the delta, the maximum effect of the combined vertex groups. If I don't want the extremes rounded, and wait, this is working. Okay, there is a little thing that is missing, but yeah, we can, that kind of works, but it's let's see. And this other side, there's nothing here, so I don't remember what is. Still need for the opposite side anyways. What is the... There's something here that... Let's check what is this. It's a delta purse rounded, which is being activated on the negative z location. Okay, because we don't need the negative z location. It was unintended, so I must yeah, so you can keep the rounded thing, like let's say think it's kind of cool. It's sort of smooth, but then we need to change the limit location. So let's make the limit distance the first, then get the limit location. We're gonna change that. Yeah, the Z, so this doesn't go. We also don't want the Y, this is no more. Alright, but I don't see the effect of the limit distance now, is it? Oh yeah, it is happening, but it's a very soft. No, it's not a soft curvature. Maybe it needs to go. Oh, the value. It's probably 0. It's probably this one. Yeah, there we go. So now you see clearly the curvature, and then it is like a pizza portion. But then here we don't have the maximum, right? So there would be other ways to do this, but I don't see. The bone will have to extrapolate from the top. Here you see I don't reach the maximum. What if I just try to augment this value here? Yeah, then I get the curvature a little. Yeah, this is it's still limited by top and side, but it start to get the curvature about here. So maybe this is the way to go. Let's see. No. Yeah, so in the end, this is a bit more complicated, right? And if I have this at this value, the curvature is almost inexistent, but we have got the it's not to be swift. Yeah, we don't reach the maximum. So I think it relates to how we calculate this. So it's complicated to get. I can't, but this thing can also work. So this is why this was 3, but then it really has no effect. So I'm just going to ignore this for now. Later on clean up, I'll see what I do with that. Taking notes, I think it can be useful. Okay, so reset here, let's go back. And so the skeleton here, so no more of the master face. What we need is to work on the skeleton of this character. So this will be a long process because there are many things for the body rig to fix. So let's see what is in this. So this is all that is remaining for me to do in this character complete. After the shape keys, like that was one of the big walls, big challenge for me. So now it's body, helper rig, deform rig, helper rig. It's also deform rig, sometimes mechanism rig, but it's a combination. Helper bones, right? I don't intend to use shape keys here. Maybe I can use driver for some deltas, but drivers is not the same thing as shape keys. Okay, so we have some texture things. So this will be simplified because I'm not going the mocap way, so I don't need to do the material shaders to work. It's more about the game data, so I go more focus on texture stuff and yeah, the quality of the UVs and texture. That's it. And texture baking shall be nice too, because if I ever get some material, yeah, procedural, yeah, whatever. More about the maps. Maybe we can. So here I'm not totally sure how I'm gonna work with that, but it could keep simple, I can get better over time for this. Like games, you want some extra things maybe. I'm not too familiar with that. Yeah, I like those PBR stuff, like you have a lot of maps for the shaders. I don't really know what we need here. Maybe just some roughness map, color map, of course, roughness map occasionally, and multi-res. Yeah, this is just some improvement on the cloth, how to apply to low poly. Yeah, this will be interesting. So on this is post rigging even in my case here, and composition conclusion. Yeah, because there's not many. This we're gonna dump. So spring bones, does that work for games or is just mocap? So I'm not sure, so I'm not gonna do spring bones. So I dumped. I'm gonna just a question here, but doesn't matter. So we in actions is like we're gonna make that. Okay, so the body skeleton finally. 3D animation keyframe pose for skinning mix. What is this? Oh yeah. Though this is no. We're not gonna waste time with that. So this is like keyframe, like deforms testing pose for skinning. Make mixam. What? There's no mixam animation for that. Okay, it will be like. No, I'm not gonna do that. That will be good practice, but maybe I make up my mind later. But so smooth waves get as good deformed skeleton as possible from low poly mesh. Yeah, totally clear here what this is about. So we're gonna make some tests here. So I'm gonna hide here. We need the base skeleton, screencast keys, armature. We are gonna get yes. We are looking at the helper rig right now. We don't need it. We just need the deform rig and the main control rig in principle to make those tests. And because the cloths here, maybe they will interfere with the visualization of the base deforms. So I'll probably no bendy bones. Let's just read. Okay, so it's just first for the skeleton, then we try to improve the helper bones. Twist bones, yes, and then oh yeah, and then we go for the mounts, the bosses, right? Pelvis and shoulders rig. Okay, so we need here the outliner. The hair gonna also hide because it will interfere. So my mouse is not collaborating here. Okay, so we see, could I start from, yeah, we can start from let's start from the foot. Okay, this is the basic skeleton. So we see that the joint of the ankle is very crude. In all directions, in all orientations. Yeah, it's horrible deforms, right? And then for the foot here, the toes, we have some, I think this is on the Control F key rig. Okay, the foot toes seems to be acceptable, but we might be able to improve. It has just one joint, right? We'll see better if we use that, right? Yeah, it losing a lot of volume there, so this is not good. We need to improve this bone even. So it's the relation between this and the foot, right? So yeah, so what we could do is we could make a quick animation here. So all this takes time, right, and patience. So with this, I'll be doing this according to requirements. I feel like it will be useful here. So I'm gonna keyframe this and this. Insert keyframe, then we're gonna insert keyframe, then reset, insert keyframe, and reset. Yeah, for the foot toes, yeah, there's also something. Let's go back here, insert keyframe. Let's reset. Then we're gonna, from here we pick this and some exaggerated pose like that, and then we go the opposite, insert, and maybe we do some okay, I need this to shift D this. Alright, so I don't understand anything about this, so let's get deleted. This is the action editor, yeah. So we have, oh, the F key toes, there we go. So stupid keyframe. So we need to, now we need to insert keyframe here. Okay, so now it's fixed. Then we need to do this, insert, do this, insert, I'm exaggerating. Then we got here, insert, then we got here, insert, then we got, this is why I need an animation for all those tests, that a pre-made animation, that will be the best thing. But then there's a question of the skeleton, right? There are so many different ways of making a skeleton that just we might end up with animation that is not compatible with all the. So this is why, even if we're doing custom rig, it's good to have a pattern, right, for certain projects. So then whenever we get all this, we can, yeah, so this is a good for testing. And here I will just keep this, and yeah, and the deform bones there. And just to be sure, do we have helper bones here? Yeah, so we have some bones here, and these are actually a couple of bones, but they are fan bones, but they don't have any waves, I guess. They are deformed bones right now, but they don't have vertex groups of their own, so they are not influencing anything. But they will. But I'm not there yet. I need to address the most crude basic waves here. With the low poly, I think there's little I can do about this, right? Oh, in this joint, I see that maybe we can improve some. This is weird how this is not responding. All right. Restrict, no. Right, so it does the restrict. Let's play the animation, see if that improved anything. Yeah, this one is a little better already. Here there is nothing. That's fine, that is, yeah, it's terrible, but that's okay. Then I see we can, maybe I've created some extra waves here that we don't want. And here the joint is completely bad, and yeah, so very bad there, right? Alright, so a lot of bad deform. So then let's check here for the other bone, the foot bone. Is there anything I can do here? Maybe we can first take off these waves. Probably here we can, then doesn't look good. Shift X, let's reduce these waves a little more. Question, should there be more waves on the top or on the bottom? This is important to have an idea. So I think less waves here on the top. Let's see the resulting effect. Yeah, so if I add more waves, it will sink, right? So my intuition was correct. What about even reducing this? Yeah, it won't save the day, but maybe that improves. Yeah, and here what about smoothing here? Doesn't seem bad, but maybe I took off too much. Yeah, we can have something bit higher, and then for the joint there near the heels, I'm not sure. It is not what is deforming right now, so maybe we can equalize that for now. Okay, so what I suspect might be good to have indeed some final waves here. Nah, this is actually no, this is bad idea. So it starts to move the tip of the toes in a. So all this can be improved. It's a good it's a good practice to test things like that in low poly. Oh, there, and then we can check for these waves here. Okay, so if I add waves here, we get this, but then in here we just get, so it's kind of good here, but and this is good. Okay, so this is a good value here to implement. This is this, and this is values what? Yeah, let's, and then we just augment here because it's close to the center. Alright. Then for the ankle, I won't touch anything, so just gonna make sure it is one. There's also a trick here we can do that is kind of interesting in my opinion. If we go on the themes, there'll be some wave painting patterns, I think. Except I don't know where they would be. It's a gradient, right? I don't seem to be able to find this anywhere here. So it's basically, I think I have this wave paint pattern, wave paint color, preference adjust color. Yeah, so here is, could go on Blender manual as well, but here okay, so where it is, this guy is good tutorials. The lollipop man. So editing, wave paint, really? It's not on themes, it's on editing. All right. Ah, there you go. Who'd know, right? For me this is themed thing. Anyway, so we have what? Why are the colors here? Is that supposed to be like that? Oh, use custom colors. All right. Custom gradient. Okay, so this will create the default, right? But what I want to do is, okay, we did that. I think this is the minimum, right? So we want here, and right before it reaches the this will become like some horrid color that will be like different from everything else, right? Indicating that this had reached the maximum and so this is 1 and the other is, well, there might be a threshold in between, but who cares. The very tiny variation between the two. The problem is that now I probably have lost the, yeah, the problem now is that this is becomes this, right? I cannot reuse the gradient. Oh, I can custom gradient. No, but it doesn't work. Like it doesn't want to. I have to reproduce those colors here, which I don't really know. Probably it's not recognizing the color that I might want here. Yeah, only if I use the yeah, so I don't know, you got the idea, right? If we created the custom gradient, we have, now we can go back. Okay, so let's just yeah, so doesn't work. I need to think better about that. So let's get now the waves here. I think here this might be the one of the reason why this is messed up. So you see every part can, oh, I see. So this is pushing the Shift X. This is two strong waves, right? In this area. So I need to reduce this. So let's get something like this. The ankle is sort of an intermediate joint, shin foot. Like it gets, it rotates, it can twist, it can do many things. Okay, so this is already a great improvement from what we had before, but still bad. So let's reduce these waves, and of course the quality will be related also to what we do with the shin bone, which you're not seeing here. Need to go in pose mode to be pure pose mode in order to make the bone selections. So I'm not gonna care yet about the helper bones, but we're gonna be addressing them soon. I think before I go up on the leg, I will be addressing this. Yeah, so here you see a lot of rogue waves that are completely wrong here. That makes no sense. And so here we can also take these off, and here we can probably reduce this. We'll see the result, and also this will be nice to start to mask stuff just in case. Yes, so maybe we need to make some mask here. Shift H. Okay, and then because I'm no longer in the foot toe there, then we can just also hide this. This part is, the bottom part is also not gonna be useful here, so Alright, so what's going on? So probably now we can augment some here. That will improve the transition, and this maybe we need more waves there. This is maybe too low. What about here? Yeah, probably add some waves here and add very low waves here, so this the shin starts to follow the foot, like a very subtle should be. But the back part is very bad, right? So could it be that, yeah, okay, so we have to expand, maybe reduce here a little, then we expand these waves. Also here let's grow these waves a little more, and here we're gonna use another value, a little lesser. Okay, so the ankle is still breaking, but it's not that bad. So maybe just smooth waves here, smooth here. Maybe we can reduce some waves here, so let's use the paint shift X. Let's get some what value is this? Let's augment this one. No, this is bad, so let's reduce this really. Yeah, so remember, this is not, these are at least intermediate joints, so it's like, it's not just like this, oh, take more waves from this part. It is just, we'll end up having, pushing the problem to the other side. So apparently here we want to have some stronger waves. Yeah, and here, whatever, let's just augment here. Then here I think this is maybe required a little more. If I add a little more joint, that might help. And this one, it's already a lot. Maybe we can okay, the values don't need to be equal, but let's see. It's not a bad shape. It can work, but the idea here we have to get better mesh rate. So here it sees just this shape that I'm not liking, so should it be more waves? Yeah, a little more waves here. And start to have this breaking there, which is here. Maybe we'll augment here too. What is the shrink flatten? It's not doing anything. Maybe I'm doing from a from a shape key. No, this is incorrect. Basis is locked. All right. So if we make some small adjustments here, that might help the deforms. And also, yeah, this one is more for shape, and this one will be more for the, yeah, it's like here, you see, I have a controller of the shape here, so it will be okay to have one here, and then this is for the usefulness of the joint. So cheating a little, but for a good cause. Actually, it's not just making this a bit more plausible and regular according to the pattern that I was developing this low poly from. I was doing that for the arm, so if we can't play with even that, then this is alright. So we have some still breaking here, but that's, of course, now we don't need many waves here. This can be considered rogue waves. Wait, what is this? I don't remember that. And why it is okay, so for some reason it doesn't normal. Oh, okay, normal. Yeah, it's a little crazy here. I have to do manually. It wasn't sliding, it was being locked by something. Right, so this is more likely to work. I'll just smooth this a little. Yes, good shapes here overall, and here for this. Yeah, this one is not, doesn't look very nice. Okay, this works, this is more likely. And now we need to readdress so because I've created the topology, this corresponds to the foot, right? So let's say that this is still the foot. Let's ensure some strong waves here. Take off this influence. So the joint goes up here. So here we're gonna get some influence. And lowest influence, but about here. Alright, let's see now. Okay, so now the sheen needs some fixing. So yeah, we have some useless waves here. It doesn't, maybe we don't need. Here also it's extrapolated. I'm gonna reduce this ring, edge ring here. I'm trying to get as good as possible without any helper bone, without any shape key. So yeah, then maybe here we can get some okay, so this part is not following apparently. So we're gonna get a lot of waves here then. No, but this is not the reason why this is not working. We need more waves here for the sheen. Yes, that's it. Even more. And here is uncertain. Maybe for the bottom, the back part. Okay, let's reduce some waves here. Alright, so this is clear. Probably we need to reduce these waves here. Then reduce even more here. And yeah, there's not much. Can I bring more smoothness here? Maybe yes. So the foot have more influence here on the sheen. That seems to work. This is the kind of thing that auto waves won't do for you. Maybe auto smooth will, but out of the smooth operation, out of the after the auto waves will. Okay, so now we are back to some good results. What if we Here's a bit weird. And what about here? This is even more weird. Now this is pushing the foot like yeah, this is bad. So maybe here we could try to smooth. No. Okay, more waves. Ah, this seems to be valid. So a little more influence from the sheen here. Yeah, there's this breaking here, but it's and here there's also the same. This helps. I'm gonna save, and then this one in the contrary doesn't help. Reducing here also doesn't help, so it will be augmenting. No, nothing helps here from this. So reducing waves for the foot. Yeah, but if we reduce too much, we end up having on the contrary. Okay, that sounds to be positive. Although not very intuitive. Then maybe just here we smooth a little more. Okay, I'd say this is good shape, although a little weird here. Let's see. Let's reduce this value and see what happens. Yeah, also works. So okay, finally, so for the feet, even though I disagree the heel topology, but whatever. This will be some upgrade for the future. What matters here is that we got good deforms out of the simplest skeleton for this foot region. Now let's see the effects of the helper rig. Or not. Well, I have a few. The foot is much simpler than the hand, and there's much lesser bones in the case of this rig, so stylized. So we got the, this is why I've started from the foot. So let's address this skeleton here. We're gonna need these bones. This is a helper knuckle toes. And this is a helper knuckle toes 01. Okay, so it's like how to organize this. It's just this one is parented to the relations. It's just parent to the toes, and this one is parent to the deformed foot. Yeah, so very simple, but actually to compose the system is not simple. I've seen that the dual fan bone system in a CG Dive ogre, two-headed ogre tutorial, but I haven't finished to watch as a long series and intermediate long, not too long series, but there are a lot of content so I've seen he made this setup. The part that I've seen, he was not using it the way I would expect, like very analytically, but I saw they're working together, and the wave painting, so that's really stuck me, because then, oh, this is dual fan bone system. Why I was just using the one fan bone, and sometimes so of course one would derotate the mesh from the perspective of the, well, the foot, the toes bone here, and the other one will derotate the mesh, but in relation to the, because this mesh is different here than here, right? So we have a derotator bone for this region and a derotator bone for this region, because the joint exactly for the bones is here, and that's it. So we can make it even more analytical. Instead, I was just like, I was derotating this region alongside with some extra waves here, but we also would need to derotate this mesh, because the angle of which those deforms are happening for it's a relation, right, between the two deformed bones of the joint. So we need to derotate the mesh locally, right? So this mesh needs derotation from a helper bone that will derotate this bone, and this mesh will derotate, although this bone is not rotating really, the mesh is, because the deforms, well, not really in this case, we don't see this moving too much, so this will be perhaps a case we could ignore this one. but it might also help. So I'm gonna check here. So this, for this one, so I'm gonna go super analytic here on the technique. So basically we are going to use the vertex group of the foot and duplicate it and bring it to the so duplicate, copy, duplicate this, and this will create a little problem here, but we're gonna get the proper bone, which is okay. So it doesn't need to be on pose mode for the armature. Okay, now go back here, have the duplicated vertex group, and it is now you see you'll have perhaps the problem. Yeah, it goes the no, that was correct, left and right. Okay, so Blender didn't destroy my process here, this version. It didn't inverted the vertex group, so now this vertex group is the same as this one, which is wrong, but it is going in the good direction. So now I'm gonna restrict. I have a shortcut here, 4, and so I cannot wave paint anything there. So I'm going to use I'm going to dissolve, erase some waves here. What the hell? Those knuckles. This makes no sense. They're just... This is not... Wait, what is happening to the foot? We are in the middle of some animation. Okay, okay, then, okay, like take off the waves here. So it is the joint that matters. So we're gonna do this, and this has a value here. We're gonna reduce it, although the stronger waves should be here, right? Not here. Yeah, so this is like not important. And we leave it like that. Now, this of course will be affecting in some way. It will be affecting the results, which is ridiculous because well, the bone is not moving in any other... Yeah, it is just following its parent. So but Blender understands for some reason that it is affecting the, oh yeah, so it's because it is tweaking the, yeah, it is tweaking the ratio for the foot of their relation. That's why. So it's normal that this is happening. But now what we can do is start creating the, there's not the example that I wanted. I want these rotations here from the toe. Okay, so this is causing difference, so this is clearly expected. And now we're going to make the derotation of the joint mesh. So this bone here would derotate in a certain amount, and this will sort of correct some exaggerations. Although yeah, alone it is not so good in this case. It might need the help of this one. It will be much simpler just one, right? So for instance, if I went to wave paint mode here and let's say I've made these waves here, this would already probably improve the, this will be a solution already. So, but I've decided to employ the more advanced technique that I'm not 100% confident that it is it should be the way I'm thinking. We can also change these waves here, this wave here, and to a less or more value, but that's okay. Okay, so for the bone constraint is a really complicated thing. We can think, oh, it's just a copy rotation. No, it could be, but there are other issues involved into this. It's actually very maddening, and it took me a while to figure out the workaround. So here I have a couple bones here, and whoa, I even use a transformation. Yeah, so it's a transformation derotator master IT, is that it? Yeah. So okay, so we're gonna copy that. So why use this? Because the copy rotation bone constraint is very, very bad in Blender. It doesn't contain the features which would allow more versatility for it. So it's like, yeah, I have a copy rotation. We could try, but then this will not create the proper automation. We need the automation to work from different bones. So otherwise the automation would respond to certain controls but not to others, and of course that will this makes the automation useless or partially useful. We want it to be working whenever recalled, so whenever asked of the, it corresponds to the pathway of the. So if you control this bone through, like, if you control it directly, then perhaps the thing will update. But if it automate. But if you control through another bone that has some bone constraint affecting it indirectly, or So there are pathways that become super confusing, because at some point, what is parenting, what is bone constraint, and they just don't, the pathway doesn't lead to the automation to work in the end. So this is tragical. It is very, very complicated. And there are many, many examples. I've been gathering experience on those things, but there are still problems that, like this, is ludicrous. Like, so I want to automate from, you see, it's not even automate from the control foot, although we can make some tests here. Local space, yes. Then what are those values here? Yeah, so this makes everything more complicated, but at least the automation, actually no, we don't want this. This will be the test for the copy rotation. So if I target, so I underestimated the problem apparently. So in previous rigs some time ago, and I know how to automate, great, but then I was doing this with just certain bones, and I wasn't being rigorous enough regarding the, okay, so here we have an automation, but of course the derotation should be okay, so here the bone is responding to the rotation of, it's also the derotation be that, but it's responding chaotically, right, to the rotation of the control rig, right? So yeah, and this is ridiculous, of course. This is not, but this is not even what I expected that would, so we don't want this kind of thing, right? Oops, anyway, so now what I'm doing, it's not, this is not the, and so the one problem is here, we don't control, if I use quaternions, then I don't, this doesn't respect the setup. So okay, so this, we see that this responds, right? So this is, if you add the bone, the deform bone, okay, it's locked, but it probably, so this is good answer, even to other direct orientations, right? Or maybe no, sometimes we might be getting some, sometimes it starts to twist crazily if you don't check careful, or it even warps. There's many weird things about rotation that if we don't test thoroughly, we just might miss some things. So even this warping there, of course, would be an exaggerated pose, might be something that is caused by the some setting here and the copy rotation. But then we reach this condition where, well, this, we are having the, it's inheriting the, it's like the, it is considering that the deformed toes is rotating. and there's just nothing here that seems to correct it. And it can just get more and more horrible. Yeah, so owner, interesting. Let's see, let's use the target here being the no, still getting the effect. Well, okay, but this is not over. This could be, no, you say it's not, well, this is not its own activation. It doesn't need to activate from this, but there's still, okay, clearly not activating from here, and there's still one bone. Alright, so maybe I was wrong, and there's a simple method that I'm targeting the Control FK rig for the, and the reason why this is happening, it's unsure, because the, well, this is parent to something else, but it's bone constraint to the control rig. This is parented to the, well, mechanism. This is parented to some mechanism that relates to the IK system. So maybe that's the reason why it doesn't have bone constraints. So it's by parenting apparently that this is respecting the, that this is not automating. Of course, this is suspect, so we might be here in a problem. And there's another thing that we'll need to test, is the, all these rotations here. If everything here is, if the derotation goes in, seems to be, it's hard to spot sometimes, but yeah, you see this motion here? For me it sounds a little suspect, so maybe we need here local. The best is local with parent in what would be the derotation, but this one holds severe drawback, because then the foot will start to the automation will start to be affected by everything, and that will be there. You see, so it's doing the same pattern as original, right, when we are targeting the, so this is not usable. And the rotation, I think this is happens because it's using so one possibility here is that some riggers would talk about that, but because they don't present clear examples, this is never clear. So I will make a note for myself, which like copy like fan dual fan helper bone system, copy rotation bone constraint, yes, but the change the rotation modes for the involved bones. Yeah, so I don't, all my modes, rotation modes are quaternions, and this quaternion might be the reason why I can't use the copy rotation, because there's no quaternion here. So it just end up, it's a minimal detail, but this is like, it's incorrect rigging, and in certain posts that my delicate thing, that is just not doing the corrections it should. So for the most part it is well, but there's glitching. So the way that I found to solve this then would be to use the, like, mimic a copy rotation from this. So this is kind of crazy. So here one will target the, maybe I could use this setup instead, but we're gonna get here Control F key foot, toes actually, and so this is like a target for this. Oops, wrong. Using local space seems to work. Then quaternion, then we see we can use, and here the default, but this, yeah, so this is the base, the map from the source bone that seems to matter. So here we can set the quaternion, and so the rotation mode, maybe you would have to, in the proposition that I've took note of, then would be the idea to have, I suppose, this bone, the owner bone of the bone constraint, instead of get some sort of Euler here, then that would be so we could use this setting properly. So this is, we'll have to experiment, but anyways, Control F key toes. Maybe I don't need this, but maybe if I create this, it will be for this bone, because it relates to the rotation of the, some way, in some sense, rotation of the joint, yeah, the mechanism of the joint. So this, if we need, that would be for the, for this control. So I leave it like that, it doesn't matter right now, because I'm not sure I'm gonna need. So the problem here is that I need to map all those things. So apparently this was for the wrist, so I've decided some values there, and let's see, rotate 90, yeah, like, it's not a limit here, this is for proportionality. So this is a cheesy way, right, actually. So let's say -90, and 90. So this is just for regularity. So we pick map from the rotation of the owner bone, or the target bone, so target bone, which is the control toes, that you see that this is working curiously, but this is because, okay, and then the affects the rotation in well, yes, in inverted way. So what is positive becomes, so this is like before I had, so what would be this this is like a halfway in this case. These are older values, so I think it will be like an add, yeah. So we are inverting in 15 degrees derotation, and maybe this is not enough, but the important thing is that these derotations, they are perfect. Perfect. They don't have any unexpected crazy behavior, because the, yeah, so see, there's nothing bizarre here. Everything seems to be quite accurate. The problem is just super annoying to set this. Not super annoying, it's just, wow, that's all that, right? So maybe 30 degrees, right? And then negative 30. Sounds scary, but actually this is super simple. Here is just we leave it symmetrical, so that, right, mirrored, negative 90 positive, and then positive 90, min and max, no mystery. Even if the bone, it's not a limit constraint here, it's just setting the pattern, the range. Even if we never reach the range, it doesn't matter, it will set the pattern. Otherwise we'll push the pattern to somewhere away from the center. The center is the beginning here, so we don't want that. We want, in this particular case, yeah. So this is like the, but this is not over. Let's see how this works. This seems to be not affecting. Okay, this seems correct. Then what about, oh, I forgot, we have also the FD foot. Okay, this also works. Then this is the mystery that I never done this dual fan bone there. Okay, so this is not activating, but this is not necessarily a problem right now, but I suspect it is a problem, because if I could, let's say, derotate, maybe the mesh is being, yeah, we don't want that, we want the opposite, right? So I'm not sure here about this interaction. It's complicated, something I haven't figured out entirely, but what I'm going to do here is just to make a test. So we have already this I key hill there, and gonna target armature, then we're gonna target, assuming it will be the heel, but it could be the foot bone. I don't know, this is a control bone, so in the other case, because this case is different, the automation that will be more related to the wrist, for arm, wrist will be the ankle one, ankle, so foot, shin foot joint. and this is the foot toes joint. So this is a more peculiar, like of the, it's not on the, it's not controlled by this master, this foot bone, so it's more a tiny thing. So this is why here is, it might be different, right? So here we got, let's say that I want that control heel to automate. As you see, just local spaces are good enough here. Then I'm gonna just copy paste those values here. There's something suspect here, because alright, so you see the automation there, and this is derotating even there, which is not required. So this could be nice, but you might have to put it to a limit, right? And this is, so let's see, I think it was 30. I'm not sure the values will be the same for the, okay, so there's a derotation here. We can cancel it, and there is, if we didn't have this, we can compare the result. Yeah, so maybe this automation here is unnecessary, folks. We'll need maybe for this bone though, but I'm not just gonna delete it. It can still be useful, and I'm not really sure about our other aspects of the extrapolation there. Rotate, yeah, it goes, oh, of course. So you need to get with a limit that would be equivalent to the mechanism. I think it went to 70, yeah. So in this case it will be like, let's see if that's okay. If I were to use this, then instead of here, the only thing that matters would be, oh, there's also the extrapolation, the, yeah, so I don't want the automation from the negative extrapolation, so 0. So here would be zero and 70, and then in this case, because this is just one rotation type, we don't want these others. Then we just want this one, and we can have here yeah, I don't know the proportion here, and it's clear that it's already adding some value, so it derotates, there we go, it derotates. The problem now is that I don't know if this derotation is running according to, it is proportional to this range here, but I don't know if this is proportional to the real interaction of the meshes. But anyways, this is it's a little detail. The fact is that if I want the automation, it is here. Therefore, of course, this will be more valid when I place this bone to act. So for now, gonna do this. I think this is conclusive for this bone. And now let's get another helper bone. So this is taking so long because I'm doing this carefully and testing what is the right. So I try to avoid doing this system. It's more complicated than I would like to, right? The single fan bone system is much simpler than that, right? So it's a certain steps that we need to, it's problem after problem, right? So first you have to understand the basics, or it is good to understand that and this took me a while to figure out, so this is very curious thing, is this idea of the subtractive. So this is the deform foot, right? The subtractive method for the waves. And then of course we need to know how to handle this in the UI of Blender, right? Alright, so this fan bone here is foot, yeah, part of the foot. So it's like looking backward and looks like it's, okay, it's inverted. Align it is a little complicated, but okay, it was already done. So I'm gonna go to the vertex group. We're gonna pick the deform foot. Yes, this one. We're gonna duplicate. I hope Blender will not troll me. Then I'm gonna pick this time this bone name. Yes, let's go and then in wave paint mode and paste. Go on the bottom. Copy, yeah, it appears. Okay, I've lost the vertex group. Like it is vanished. It vanished. Makes no sense to me, but okay, let's do it again then. Okay, it is at the end. Then I go here. It is at the end. Okay, we get it. We double click and we paste. And this is the right, this is the left. Okay, so now I'm going to use the restrict. I'm gonna start, it is just the toes joint, and imagine if you have to do this of every joint, good luck, because this will take a long time to write, and if it's not producing, so this is why I'm doing this one on this toes here. Imagine you have many toes, right? So no, unless you had an automated algorithm, something that will, yeah, automate this process. It just only works, I think, to do this thing on specific joints, right? So the ones that are more complicated. So this is not exactly the case of this toes joint, right? A single fan bone should be enough. So here I'm just overly complicating, but I think it's good to set the starter for this. I'll probably want for, yeah, certainly I'll use for the elbow, the knees, and the wrist. So probably the ankle would be nice too. I'm not sure about the ankle. So here it might be an overdoing. The wrist is super complicated actually, so it's more complicated than the knee and the elbow. So actually just a reconsideration. Ankle and wrist might be actually more favorable than the, right? And of course then the shoulder and the shoulders, not sure about the shoulders, it might sound a bit complicated, but the shoulders, yes, even the neck we could use for the neck, but if we find out that the neck might be not deforming very well, but it's not usually very visible, especially not in this character design. So in principle the neck head is like an intermediate joint, you could say. The shoulders and the hip thigh joints, yeah, certainly that. For the thigh I was just using a single fan bone until I discovered I was doing even fanny bones, which are helper fan bones, but at that time I didn't consider so I suspect that when you reach the complex joint of the hip thigh, then this solution in low poly even might be super interesting to see the results. So I leave the waves like this here, untouched. So I'm just gonna smooth this out, already smooth, and this is the other helper. And so now about its bone constraints, I'm gonna go back to we'll pick some important bones here for making some tests. So already see that it's in place, but nothing changed, right? So this is a good place for automation. We're gonna just copy selected bone constraints. We're gonna copy everything, and we're gonna change the actually we can keep this one. Maybe we'll have to invert something here, I'm not totally sure. Let's see. Yeah, so this is a little difficult to visualize. So what we want the bone to do, so by rotating here we're getting the bone closer to, so it's not what we want actually, it's the invert. If I join here, see, the bone starts to rotate. It's more like here, right? It's the inverse. So how to solve this thing? Well, maybe let's reset here, invert the role. It's not something that Yeah, because of the bone constraint, it's not, it's, so it's confusing, but I think this is now correct by just inverting the axis. So yeah, so it makes sense. So despite its alignment, it's inverted because the axis, this one is up and this one was down, but by doing them in this mirrored fashion, that will auto-generate the the inverted automation. So I don't need to do anything here. The only thing that is strange here is that, well, of course I understand what's going on. It's because this is following the parenting, because this bone is parented here. So, and this bone is parented to here. So this is like, yeah, let's delete this. Let's turn this off for a moment. Yeah, so you see, this is the correct motion. That should help the deforms, and then from here, that should help a little. Yeah, should, not that exactly it does, but in principle that is the good one. It's hard to see here, but that seems to be the correct thing. Then we have the heel thing, and now, yeah, let's activate and see. So this is, because it is lagging behind, that means that it is actually derotating the mesh, right? So it is derotating the joint, and here it's not moving, and here it is derotating. So that is very nice. So this is already working. So this needs that automation. Let's just see now if there's anything crazy happening here. Apparently not. So this seems to be very regular. So the only thing now that maybe will be lacking is the, okay, let's say that I want to recover this automation. Yeah, just so the question is that I think this is moving too much, so maybe this is, yeah, this is, let's leave the toes on the foot, right? Because it, in this mesh at least, it is changing some, and the foot is special, right? We want this to be all right. And if we don't have this, yeah, so this is important, and this is important for this one, but it's not so important this one. So I think I can delete here. Yeah, I'm gonna save a new file here. That should conclude this automation. So it's not so hard, but the concepts that needs to be put here, to be set in place, yeah, without some schooling, this is like I had some access to some documentation, but it was not in Blender, and after all that I see, there are some few tutorials, but this is like this construction, right? And this is not the hardest thing we can achieve with there's the Fanny bone system, which is more complex than that, but this is quite challenging regarding the rotations and the automations. That's very much complicated thing in Blender because of the pathways. So underrated topic, never discussed, rarely discussed in any tutorial, but it's real. There is a difficulty, a challenge in Blender regarding the automation, the pathway I call. Alright, so other helper system would be this one. So I think for today I'm about nearly 1 hour doing this, so, and I've just made one tool, but it's actually yes, today is a very tiring day. It's very super hot in my city. I'm just trying to see what there is still to be done in this rig. So you see, I would like perhaps to use a fan bone system for the knuckles, but maybe limiting just to a simple fan bone, not dual fan bones. Yeah, just the main joints, not for each joint. Although if I start to have difficulty with every joint, then maybe yes, a single fan bone for each, but then the wrist, forearm, dual fan bones. The elbow, yeah, here we could consider, because this is a simple joint, just as the knee. So this one it was interesting because of this one. So actually, yeah, but we could say that this is a intermediate joint. Also, you see the toes rotate in all orientations, right? It's not a bad idea actually. Yeah, makes sense. Besides this stuff here. All right, which will automate. I've decided just this one. Now so let's make the ankle and see if I can solidify certain sediments, some notions here, right folks? So let's get here the foot bone. We're gonna reuse it. So we're gonna have, this was the master bone, so we're gonna need this. You see, I'm calling them, instead of def bones, helper bones, because since they are deformed bones, they will stack vertex groups in the vertex groups panel. And so if I make a different name like this, then it's easier then to differentiate between the skeleton deformed bones, the main deformed bones, and the helper bones that are just complementary bones. So this is a technique that I found to be useful, an approach. So here the foot and the shin. Deform, okay. The control rig should be useful also here. So let's go back here and select this, select this for testing, and that's it. Then we get, yeah, we select this, then we go back here, yeah, we add, then Alt H, then Alt A and A, and then go back and Shift, no, go here, unselect all, go back to pose mode, select all, this is what I need, and Shift H now. There we go. We happen to have bones on the other opposite side, we don't want them, so now that's good. So you need to be on here, pose mode, so you can ready the access the wave paint mode. and the bones. So we're gonna start with the foot. So you need the foot bone is selected. Does it select the vertex group? No, it doesn't. So we need to be on mixed wave pose wave paint mode. Select the foot. Now we have there. We can already from here copy, duplicate. Since we are here, also let's do this for this one. No, for the shin. Now we go back on pose mode. Now we select this F2, the foot bone. We're gonna use it to copy paste here for the foot. I'm not gonna even check now. Wrong vertex group. It was this name here that matters. Alright, and then I need to be on wave paint mode for the automation to occur. So let's go here, and there we go. It instantly generated the automation. Ankle shin, ankle foot. It's like first the name of the joint and then its relative. So here will be like knuckle, yeah, toes knuckle. Toes knuckle toes, toes knuckle foot. Alright, whatever. So, well, actually, knuckle, because they're already separated by this 3 refers to the legs, 4 would relate to the arms, 2 torso, and 1 head. Same for deform bones and helper bones. For control bones and mechanism bone, I don't use that because they won't appear here in principle in the vertex groups. It's more because of the list. So okay, we got here. We need to use the restrict method to prevent any accident. So here is the ankle joint thing. So we're gonna it's just the derotation of the joint region. So whichever thing is not joint region from the foot towards the ankle doesn't matter. The threshold is arguable, of course. So I could leave this. No, I think not. So certainly this. So this is the maximum threshold. So probably I would yeah, okay, so I'll leave like that. I won't touch this. This seems a bit complex. So this should already work as a helper bone for the foot. And for the shin, well, the shin is here. We will take off all this because it doesn't matter here. The mesh that we want to derotate from these helper bones is near to the ankle from the from the shin's perspective. So maybe I shouldn't touch anything more. I could smooth this out, but we'll see. Why this matters. Maybe smoothing is even mathematically incorrect for the derotations because it will mess up the ratios, but the fact is that the helper bone will derotate, has the same power, should the equivalent power of on the waves, on the power waves on the vertices in relation to, in comparison to its, right, the skeleton sheen here. So this has same waves but on the joint, and there in the other areas not. So some smoothness might help perhaps to prevent certain aberrations that like some bad shapes that might form in the, because here's might be too harsh, but it's a helper bone, but it happens to be very strong. So in principle we want the waves to be very strong at the joint because the derotation factor is already reduced a lot. We use the influence of the bone constraints for that. Alright, so now we can start by addressing, checking if these are deformed bones. They are. So right now nothing, of course something is happening because they seem to affect, well, nothing seems to be happening, okay, in this particular case. Yeah, so this is maybe because we haven't changed anything and there's nothing really affecting the variations there. Yeah, so some things are a bit odd, but I think because I left untouched, yeah, waves completely untouched, just this zeroed out the ones that wouldn't participate for the helper bones. So now let's start with this derotator of the foot. So it will use, not copy rotation, we're gonna use the, alright, so I'm gonna go on here, we're gonna, okay, so I know what I need to do. I select all here, unselect all, select all, go back here, and let's add this one as a reference, and that's it. Yeah, Shift H, then we go back here, Shift Alt H. I hope you understand what I'm doing. Okay, so this is weird. I have just one side here and whatever. Okay, so we bring here to, yeah, let's copy here, selected constraint. All right, let's disable this one. Let's just work on this one. We're going to use here for okay, so if I pick the foot, this might not work because okay, it is working for here. This don't roll the, yeah, it is creating some derotation there, as you can see, which is not adequate. Okay, so this doesn't work. But I have a lot of other bones here that I could try. This is parent to the deformed foot. Okay, hold on, I have an idea. Temporarily I'm gonna delete this. Now you see that interesting behavior. Reparent. There are many other bones that I could use to target here. For instance, there's even a control foot bone that was the target here, right? So why not try this? This doesn't derotate, and why this is doing this? I don't know what this is. It's not, has nothing to do with this. Oh, this is no, something about stretched over. I don't remember this behavior, but it's probably something about copy transforms. Oh, we are having some critical effect with the pole target, maybe. Yeah, that's not a problem. Well, it will be a problem if I'm testing the deforms, but we have enough here to test. Yeah, this will be a bit annoying, so let's turn this off temporarily. Okay, so we need to have, we see that the control foot yeah, it activates the, but not this, and then for some reason, okay, this doesn't seem to control, so this is not sufficient, but this is why I've made this extra like on the ankle, so it's the same. Okay, so this is a derotator factor, which is, yeah, so it is doing this. Yeah, so you see it improves. It's tiny, but it's better than nothing. So this is actually might be better if we extrapolate a little more. Yeah, so it gets some improvement, but I'm not really satisfied here, so I'm gonna try to improve this derotation. This is a little annoying. You have to this doesn't seem to have helped. Yeah, so the waves are not super helpful alone for here, but no, actually what I'm doing, we can actually have a stronger value here and play with the influence. So for instance, fold the rotation. I haven't thought about this. And then we it's so much derotating that it doesn't even move, right? Then this is moving because of parenting, I guess. So this doesn't matter, this is already an extrapolation. So what we have here is why maybe we want something bigger here and symmetric. Alright, so then this thing goes all the way, right? So actually we could even say as a default thing okay, but this doesn't really matter. So you get here, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do the fold derotation in all directions. Well, no, there seems to be missing something on the sides. XYZ. Alright, I don't understand. Something about the... Oh, okay, so the combined... There's something about the combined derotation that it doesn't... Okay, so doesn't matter. Well, maybe that matters. So this is why I really need to find this. If I can just use a copy rotation bound constraint instead of all that with the Euler rotation mode, some type of Euler rotation mode. So that could simplify this process a lot, right? So this is super confusing and annoying to set up, right? And every time you're gonna set up this, you have to put thinking on this. Why it's all that? So it's not optimal, but it works. So that's a good point. It's not overly complicated. It's just annoying. And the Euler mode might be a good point. And then all right. Then here. Or the Blender dev should just create the quaternary mode for the copy rotation. Yeah, I should report that. So yeah, so here we're gonna reduce like what would be like 90 degrees, 15 degrees is like 1/4, right? No, 30 degrees is 1/3. So 15 degrees is 1/6. So if 1/6 of that would be like first 1/3 is 60, right? So we can change here. So this would be like equivalent to a 30 degrees amount derotation. And I'm still not using the other bone, right? Then the diagonals, that might be that had that behavior, they seem just to follow. Yeah, that doesn't seem to cause a problem. Okay, then now I need to create the same automation for, because this doesn't automate. So you see the problem where it is, there is a chance that if I change the target here, I could reach a different result. So this could be a little crazy. But if Blender, okay, this is not working, and now this is working, yeah, in the actual invert. Yeah, this is not the right, the custom space is wrong, right? We can't use the, wait, no, the custom space is right, so, but the target, yeah, so it's not gonna help. So we need and now I don't have the automation for the control, but I have for the F key. Yeah, of course, this is, so this is why you need two bone constraints. One for, so they don't stack exactly in a bad way, they stack as long as you make some movement, and so they counteract, they are additive in a positive, in a good way. They don't conflict. So but the rotation doesn't look right. So anyways, this is correct, but as soon as I get here the other, what would be the, why would it do the opposite thing? I'll leave the local owner with owner orientation. Alright, so what I want to do though is to make a tweak here. This will be a little complicated, but we'll get through. There are many target bones here that I could try in the advanced foot rig. Of course, this is like nightmarish vision from hell, but I know what I can find there. So first there's two mechanism bones. There's the helper, okay, it's not the helper, there's the, this doesn't matter, there are map ankle, doesn't matter, so it's just these two mechanical bones which are in the way. We have a Ike target foot, this is Ike target foot of what? Of the Ike owner. Okay, so this is the rootest. Let's copy it. And now we're gonna change here and see if the automation responds to the control foot. Okay, interestingly it responds to it, but does it respond to this is the grand moment? Oh, okay, but this is not totally victory guaranteed. Is this the, yes, the rotating? Wow, so this is one solution. Yes, so this is good solution. So basically, in the case of the joint, because I need to track that bone, so why master IK owner? Okay, so what it gets, it got a, okay, you have an I key target, okay, keep on constraints, then targeting the, but it got the copy rotation. Okay, it's the same thing for the I key. It is parented to the control. I key leg. Oh, okay, no, the parent makes no sense to me for this, for the automation. It's probably something about the, let's see, we can make them test here. That's a good way to try to track down what is responsible for this multi automation. Let's say that I disable this. The helper bone is still okay, so it apparently is the copy rotation bone constraint, but there's still one thing, which is the, yeah, of course, if I change the parent here, it will be a disgrace. So let's get, it's not the parenting, master IQ owner, okay, bone constraint master IQ owner, which follows then the master IQ owner has the mechanism, IQ owner has the control IQ foot lower leg. Okay, this is the, has disrupt the parent also, and the automation is still there, you see there. So what happens is that by not parenting, but this is the good version before it's destroyed everything, by having the attention, this can be the, can have left and right names, they can, but this is it's not good for the title. Alright, so the technique here is not about the parent. So let's see, by targeting nothing happened. It's not about the parenting relation, at least not of the bone itself, not of any of them. It's about the bone. It's a bone constraint thing. If I target that bone, it copy rotations to the mechanism I can target. Okay, so mechanism I can target. Now the parent might matter. Okay, that, well, maybe not. It is, we could test that too, but too late. This not for now, so I've just skipped the idea. This bone has no bone constraint, but it is rotated by whichever of the two, but it's rotated by a parenting relation. So it's wrong to say it's not a... Turns out that this parenting relation that rotates it comes from the pathway of the control here, and this is parent to this, right? Master, yeah, it's the parent of the control, and this is parent to the mechanism role, mechanism roll toes. Yeah, this one mechanism roll toes, which is parent, of course, to the, this is the typical, which is parent then to the control F key foot. Oh, okay. So that is the thing. This and these are they are. There's a single parenting relation. I understand why this is working. It is a parenting stuff until we reach the mechanism I key target, which has no bone constraint at all. But the way the mechanism I key owner reads, which is parent to the shin, the something, the control I key rig skeleton, it's something else. So that will be a it will so these bone constraints get through bone constraint the copy rotation of that mechanism I key owner, but the fact is that this will be funneling the parenting pathway of, not exactly funneling, but yeah, the resulting of parenting transforms in this I key owner will then translate into transforms of bone relation. So it's very weird, but that is what will make it happen. So probably this is happening because, thankfully, to the fact that it looks like yeah, I'll need the bone constraint enabled there. Yeah, so one of the difficulties, of course, yeah, this is, so I can't do that in this way because the FK is parented to the I key master. So this is for a long time I thought this stuff is very mysterious, so apparently I got the way here. So now let's complete the last one. Yes, because that was totally successful. We have already the waves, so now this, let's see. This should be automated in relation to the, yeah, so I don't have a mechanism bone there, so I need maybe I could use this leg lower. Gonna target this and We're gonna copy those settings. -60 actually. This corresponds to 1/3 of this, so this is like 30 degrees for a rotation of 90 degrees. So here we don't see any automation from here, which might be bad. We see the rotation from this, which should be okay, but we don't have any derotation from the foot, yeah, nor from here. So this can be a bit more tricky, right? So what is the solution for this one? This has double, but of course here we don't benefit of a mechanism bone that had that sort of property, I think. Or maybe we do. It is still here. So maybe let's try this one. Duplicate here, Control V. Let's also do the same pattern there. And then 60. Really, the value of the derotation, I don't want to think about it now. So we see that we have it's derotating on the wrong direction though, but it is responding. Not here though. Yeah, so this doesn't respond because this parent mechanism row heal. I remember that this was okay. Let's try this one then. No, nothing. Roll toes then. Deactivates the rotation from here, but not from here. What's left? Still the I key target. Nothing. So where's the deform foot? Why not simply the deform foot? Now that will cause a lot of disruption. So nothing here. Deform toes. Now then it does some crazy stuff, yeah. And then also here it's incorrect. So what if we align with this one? It's another possibility. That I think I have experimented occasionally. Yeah, so since the other doesn't react here, yeah, so it can work for this case, but it doesn't automate this one, which is it's a separate thing. Yeah, this is a bit more complicated. It was needed anyways. Yeah, there's actually no, there's a difference here. This is the F key foot and this is the knuckles, right? Okay, let's load here and then how to conclude here so there's no automation here. This is moving, it's not using any rotation, so this kind of limb is not what we need here as a reference, so I can't use this. Yeah, I think here I cannot use this this control toes. It will be something else. So yes, technically I could try to derotate it in relation of could use again the control I key owner, same strategy. And same amount there of derotation. Let's see if okay, it's derotation. Going backward. is going forward. It's going back. Yeah, so it is derotating in the right directions. What else? Here we don't get the automation from the F key foot. Yeah, so it's lacking. So here, no, actually it was disabled. Hold on. Oh yes, it is getting now, but maybe this is causing some trouble. Maybe it's too strong. It shouldn't be. No, it is doubling the in the case of the foot. No, this is the correct direction. Oh, I see. So this bone needs to be symmetrically helper ankle foot. Yes, this one. No, the alignment seems correct. The roll. What is this bone pointing back? It probably is the helper bone. No. Oh, it's a VRM rig. Yeah, with all those things we won't be able to understand very much what's going on. So still bad, but better. So for some reason the FK is not okay. This will be the correct motion. The rotation sometimes is just too strong, but and this seems to be also the correct motion. Already checked. Yeah, see the angle that is forming here. So this bone is trying to rotate, not in this direction but the other direction. Okay, and there's another test we need to check for this. Yeah, so the ankle here, and then it derotates, and here it derotates. Well, if it rotated here, it would contribute to more artifacts, right? But you need to be careful. This is like the back helper, so this joint doesn't need so much helping. So maybe we need to, yeah, this is like 30 degrees. This is ridiculous. This is too much, so we need to do 15. This is in relation of of these values is 1/6 now of this. So this is more subtle and it should be better. So now everything here is automated by just one. Well, there will be still this bone here. I'm not sure if it will be. No, this is okay. So this is the perfect setup. We're going to symmetrize these helper bones here. And yes, we don't need anything else here. The rotator, so this bone sort of solved all the things with, in the case of the foot, the ankle. Alright, so that all this is correct. Just one thing that I'd like to fix is these values now. If I this 1/3, okay, so it's like one-third is 60. For this one we have just one. Okay, so this is 1/3 again, so it's the same idea. 1/3 of 180. Yeah, so here I really need to know if there would be the rotation mode, if we can fix that. We simplify this. Alright, this is the rotating, this is the rotating also. Okay, maintain the same proportionality. And just here that I'm not sure, I'm trying to respect this. Yeah, because this is like a question of the extrapolation, right? Start to move weirdly. There's a limit. So this is exceptional case, so I'll just leave it like that. And also let's I can rename these bones. So let's see these ones. First let's resymmetrize. Then we're going to rename by sets, by couples. B for bones. So here this is like, instead of knuckle, no, this is correct, knuckle toes, yes. And this one is, instead of toes, foot. And then strip characters, hold shift, left click, and doesn't work. Find replace, instead of toes, foot. Still objects. Okay, bones. Knuckle toes, knuckle foot. Alright, and then for this one would be ankle foot, yes, and ankle shin, which is already correct, by the way. So alright, so the lower leg is fixed, except for this little weird thing there, which is no, it's not. Oh, it's the automation, of course. Something about the pole target. Copy. I've changed this setup because I was trying to. Okay, this is a recent issue. I've made this different weird setup because I was of automation, right? Which doesn't create dependency cycle. Sort of crazy. Basically, there's a custom space local with parent owner, so this used the master IK foot, so no parent here. Actually, you could parent this to the root, but the question here is that, yeah, this gives this kind of setup, but then what was happening is that when I was rotating, yeah, when I was trying to rotate the, oh yeah, this is just that is when I was rotating this, then the pole target crossed to this was the is just a. So the reason why I've discovered this different automation, because I was trying to, still like the older one that has a stretched tube on, but it's more prone to dependency cycle and some weird behaviors, but this one also has some inconvenience. Let's parent this, right? Oh no, we can't do this. No, the parent is wrong. Hard bone to select this one. Oh, I think a lot of stuff broke. Well, this seems to work properly. Anyways, let's save another file here. Let's close Blender, reopen. Okay, no dependency cycle, so that's it. I just forgot to parent this to something, but it seems to, oh no, there will be this problem. Yeah, double transform, so we can't rely on this. It's because of this target local with parent. It works a little like a child of bone constraint. Same problem here, so that no wonder it needed to be unpaired. So this is a disadvantage of this setup. And here I just need to check, did I solve this knuckle foot names? Yes, was on the last things I did. Then did I turn on this? Yes, turned on the copy transform, so which was being caused by the this rotation. So maybe, let's see, can I, okay, I'm gonna save this as the other file. Maybe I can reduce this influence. The rotation, it follows an arc, right? Okay, but this actually helps. I already know this system has some issues, so unfortunately the non-parenting potential, although why not, let's try something here, stacking some, never tried that, but let's copy transforms, target the center of gravity. It is suffering double transforms, right? Yeah, so it's not good. What is that? There's some stuff with the something about the proportion that we can sometimes match. There's about a 3 difference. It seems to maintain it, but it's bad for the rotation. but otherwise so that seems to kind of crazy. So half from the center, right? Can work with copy location. I found this when trying to make some automation from don't even need if we know if we need this, but too late. Let's try. So just a copy location on so we can stack the parenting, but we can stack the bone constraint to the same parameter. No dependency cycle, so crazy. And that's a way to fake multi-parents here. So okay, can I simplify this? Just local space. The rotation seems to go wilder than before, so okay, so the rotation is always a problem. It's not so bad, so this is a way perhaps to keep this thing functional. So let's try here and yeah, the rotation didn't seem to be a problem before. Wait, how? What's happening here? The bone is not parented to anything, so how? Why it is following the with parent, of course. Well, all this is useless. It's already following. Oh yes, of course. It was not following because it had the maximum. That's it. It's maximum influence. So actually here maximum influence, and then because of the maximum influence, I was having too much. Okay, so instead maybe what I can do here is to split this into two techniques, right? The copy location and copy rotation, and then the copy location will use the so here we copy location can be at max pose offset. Does that work? Yeah, no, it's not safe. So, oh yeah, I know what I can do. So I can use this at maximum, so it's all regular here, but then what I can do is to, yeah, this will ruin the partial the thing, but let's try to copy rotation. We're gonna try a derotation before original. Not sure this is working. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. Strangely not doing. Okay, this is a copy rotation. It's for this bone, it's not sufficient. You will need to, yeah, only the rotation is it's something else. It's about the pivot point. This is a pivoting point. Yeah, so that's why it's so harsh. So, but if I reduce this influence, then all this reduce in sync. So this is little I can do here in this setup. So parenting is good. The other technique was more reliable. So this I was trying to achieve because of mocap. I was, some CG Dive has some content about this, targeting inverse kinematics, right? Rig, he did it with custom rig with Rigify add-on, retargeting the I key controllers, and this is tricky, and I think I have a solution now based on what he was presenting and some of my own experiments. I think I know now what I was doing, what I wasn't doing. I was using Rococo add-on, and okay, anyways, for the work today, that was it. I expected to do more, but I had to revise all this complicated system of helper bones, and that's actually enjoyable, although a bit slow process, unfortunately, but we're making progress, so this is very important. And let's say the feet are completed, so now what we need to do is to solve the other simple joints, knees, elbows. At the same time we'll be fixing the waves, the base waves, if there's anything that can be improved, small tweaks. The hands will take a longer time. The wrist is as complicated as the ankle, so maybe I can jump directly to the no, continue doing the leg, the knees, then the elbows. We'll skip the pelvis and the shoulders for now, leave for the end. So my strategy will be knees, elbows, then wrist, then knuckles of the fingers. We'll see, we'll improve all the fingers, then see if there's something required for the neck. Then we go for the automation of, we see if this automation for the torso are good. In principle they already are, but could improve the wave paints also on the spine. And then finally go for the torso, the shoulders, and then we make some setup here with some helper bones. We see if the results are good, or if we'll need a more advanced setup like I have here. These are be funny bones. You see there's a fun bone here, but I already prepared the dual fun bone here, so that should be something like that. And so this technique I've never tried here, the dual fun bone. So, and then we'll try it with alongside another set of other techniques, but it will be the last thing that I'll do for this. So still in this phase here, but we'll get soon later. Gonna grow that's faster. I think in 2 days, if I work well, I'll be already here. And add twist bones for the wrist, because I'm not using bendy bones, at least for the wrist. Yeah. And then we have to re-rig the cloth, right? Super simple for this cloth, nothing special, just transfer waves, right? And that's it, folks. So thanks for watching, hope that was interesting, and take care and happy blendering. See you another time, another day. See ya, folks. Enjoy.